thank you for being here, whoever is here. And I hope that you are having a good day, evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. And see, I got completely distracted then. Actually, I didn't want to connect with something then. So that is a good example for you to just, sometimes we do that. We're doing something and then we do something else quickly. And it's because there's something coming up inside of you that you may not like or understand. It happens when we read things sometimes. You read it and then you realise that you didn't actually take any of it in. And then you go back and you try and read that paragraph or page again and it's still not going in. And it's because there's something in there that's triggering. There's something there that's triggering something in you and you don't want to face it. So, and that doesn't mean that I don't want to do the work, but it's the outside world is always a beautiful reflection of what's going on in our inner world. And it helps us to understand what we need to do some work on as well. So, I'm very good at going inside and looking at myself and being introspective. I am an introvert, so and pulling myself apart and having those inner conversations with myself, it's something that I quite enjoy, and I enjoy the whole idea of uncovering new parts of myself. Not so good at taking that out and bringing change into the world. It's like my mind says, oh, you've done the work now, you don't have to do the actions, do the work. But of course, we're here to live a physical life. So it is taking all of this and then making the actions happen. And I can certainly procrastinate in that way too. Yes, and that tends to mean that we're probably more connected to the inner, the divine feminine, and not so much acting on the divine masculine, which is really just the sun energy, which then shines light on our inner world, and then we take the actions. I think for me, just as an example, just to help people to understand, is that my mother was I was never allowed to sit and contemplate. I had to make a decision right there and then. So we would have a discussion and then it would be like, right, well, what do you want to do? And I'd be like, can I sit with this? No, you have to make the decision now. So, of course, the problem with that is then whatever comes into my head, I would make the decision. And that was generally based on trying to please the people around me, which of course is not to my benefit. And so I think later on in life, I tried to make decisions too quickly without really sitting with it, because it was a pattern that was inside of me, because I thought I just have to please people. I just have to do this now. And of course, now that I'm nearly 60, it's like, okay, I just need to sit with this. And I've sat with it for about 3 years. and that's okay. I'm still doing lots of work. But it is time for me to get back out into the world again and realise that it's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I decide to do. But it has to come from a place of me enjoying it, instead of making decisions based on, what if I miss out, or I have to do it because this person is expecting me to make a decision. And I am a manifesting generator in human design, and manifesting generators need to just take a little bit of time and just sit with their energy. Does this feel right? Feel it in the gut. But often they're very quick to make decisions, and I can see that in me. So anyway, hopefully, I've just waffled on a bit there, and I hope that wasn't too narcissistic because it was about me, but it was really just to help you understand. And, and someone might say to me, well, what does that matter, if you decide things quickly? And it's like the biggest problem with that for me is that I have not chosen from my soul's perspective. I've chosen from what I think the outside world is showing me. And what we need to do, and this is what the space in between is going to help us understand tonight, is to take the information from the outside world and let it mingle with your inner wisdom, and you will find your authentic wisdom to make a decision or a choice. Yeah, as Bashar says, follow your greatest excitement every moment. And of course, Bashar also reminds us that excitement doesn't mean that we jump up and down on the bed and we think, oh, everything's wonderful and everything's beautiful. That's not what it means. It means this, are you feeling a pull to this? It's like being in the flow. Are you feeling like, oh, yes, that really interests me and that's got my attention? And sometimes it may feel tense inside of you. And that's why you need to sit with it. As well, because your greatest excitement or your passions are not, oh, this is just going to make me feel beautiful and wonderful and la 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 la, that, because that is not what that really means. So anyway, that is just well, this is an interesting we've gone into an interesting place already. Learning to know yourself, learning to sit with a decision. You don't have to rush to make a decision in case you miss out or in case somebody is expecting you to make a decision. Do what feels right for you, and you'll get to your own place when you need to in your own time. Something I have realised as I've got older is that as I have rushed forward in life, rushing forward into jobs, into relationships, into experiences, travel, whatever it is in my life, as I have rushed forward because it's like, oh, this is going to be exciting, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go there, I have missed a lot of the information in the peripheral. So meaning that I have not allowed my consciousness to expand, to take in everything. I've been quite, and I'm not always like that because obviously of the work that I do, but when I was younger I was certainly like that, and I think society can be like that. It's like we rush to get the new phone that's out or the new technology or the new this or the new that without just stopping and letting the old catch up. And that just means that it doesn't mean that we have to embrace the old, but it means that we've got to take some time to integrate where we've come to before we move forward. And it reminds me of what my parents used to say. And obviously my parents were from London and they were very much, keep calm and carry on. And I understand that concept because it's very Zen, because it's like, okay, let's just be in the present moment, be as calm as we can and keep moving through. That's what that actually means. But people have, it's never really been explained how to do it. We've been told to do it, but not how to do it. So what's actually happened is that people have just shoved stuff down and moved on and never done anything about healing this, about releasing anything. They just keep shoving it down and moving forward. And yes, repression. Samir, that's a good word. They keep just repressing it, pushing it down. And for me, that is depression. I keep depressing. And I've got so much stuff inside, not so much now, but obviously when I was younger, so much stuff on top of me, so much that I have depressed that I cannot hear me. And depression also came about from thinking that my life had to turn out certain ways. And when it didn't, I would beat myself up and just push down even more. So yes, somewhere along the line, it does have to explode. It's like a lid comes off and poof, up it comes. And that happened to me the very first time I had, was it when I had Reiki? Well, say when I had Reiki with a psychotherapist. I was not in a very good place. Was in terrible depression and anxiety. It was probably 12 months after the end of my first marriage. And I remember asking, I was still hairdressing then, and I remember saying, I need some help. I had no idea what I was asking for. I hadn't even started meditating then. And this has got to be about 35 years ago now. And I do remember saying, I need help. Whoever I'm talking to, because I wasn't religious, whoever I'm talking to, I need help. Please bring me help. And maybe I had read You Can Heal Your Life or seen the movie You Can Heal Your Life. And my first client the next day was a new client, a hairdressing client, and she was a psychotherapist. And so I went to see her because we got on quite well. I felt comfortable with her. And she gave me Reiki. We did some NLP work. We did tapping. She did all sorts of things. But the first time she put her hand on my heart, and she was giving me Reiki, I felt the tears come from my toes all the way up my body, and they just leapt off my face. That's probably the best way I can say it. I just started howling, and I couldn't stop it. And I probably, for the first time in my life, I didn't try to stop it either, because I felt like I was in a safe environment to do that. And then life just started to. Then I started meditating. I found a place to meditate, and then my spiritual journey really took off. My inner journey, with years, years and years of crying and healing and I can be very resistant as well. And so just know that these things don't happen overnight. And I have no idea why I'm talking about this, but anyway, hopefully it's helping someone out there. And it gives you a sense of relief that it's okay. And just because we cry, when I started working at the Blue Angel Healing Centre, and I started there as a massage therapist when I changed my career, I cried for the first 12 months every day. And it was like, as soon as I walked into that place, and I remember one of the readers said to me, she said, I see you walk through a curtain of purple and blue every day. And she said, it's the energy of Archangel Michael, and you're being asked to step into your truth every day. So every day when I was going to work at that healing centre, that's what was happening. And plus, everyone cuddled there, and I was not used to that either. I always liked my 3-foot space. Don't come near me. I mean, I'm not like that now. And, every day they would cuddle and kiss me. And I'm not actually sure whether that would be allowed in a workplace these days, but it certainly helped me heal. And I'm forever grateful for that experience. And it was like everyone took me under their wing, and I learnt for 2 years of my life, I just absorbed every book in that place. I just absorbed everything. And of course, that's nothing great, because we all do that when we step onto our paths. It's like all of a sudden we want all this information and we're open to it. So now that I've got that off my chest, I have no idea why I was talking about all that. But anyway, as I said, hopefully that helped someone or all of you out there. So it's wonderful to be here with you today as we explore the space in between. It's a quiet, expansive stillness that exists between our breaths, between our thoughts, and even our actions. We often think of life as a series of events. that, oh, I'm working towards this goal, and then I'm working towards another goal. But what if the magic actually happens on the journey, in the space in between? Because that's when you're creating that. When you get to a goal, often it doesn't quite feel, it may not satisfy or fulfill you in the way that you expect it to. And that's because by the time you get to that, you've gone through this journey, and the initial excitement of it has taken you on this journey of creation, so that you can, when you get to the goal, you're going to then open yourself up to new contrasting experiences to create more. So when we get to the goal or the thing in our life, that's not the beginning, that's the end. That's the end of a creation. We're so caught up in the physical, the manifestation in the physical. Once it turns up in my life, I'm going to be happy. But, have a think in your own life. When you've really got the things that you wanted in life, how did you feel? I remember saying to my ex-husband, I might have been talking to him about this concept one day. And I said to him, you know what? I said, go and buy me a car and I'll be happy for half a day. Because he used to say to me, you're never happy, right? So I was explaining this concept. And I said to him, oh, go and buy me a car, or go and do this, or go and do that. Give me this, give me that, and I'll be happy for half a day, and then it will inspire me to want more. And growing up, I was told I was greedy, or I was not happy. It's like, why can't you ever be happy? And it's like, but I'm always happy, because it's the journey of the creation that is often makes us really happy. It reduces from half a day to seconds. Yes, it can, because what we think is going to make us happy, we don't know that until we experience it. And that's the thing, you get there and you go, this isn't quite what I thought it was going to be, or it doesn't feel like I thought it was going to feel. And that's okay, because you've just got clearer with what you do want, and you'll go on a new journey, a new chapter. And that's the exciting part of being a human and creating. It doesn't mean you have to get it right. And that's the perfectionist thing coming up with the full moon in Virgo. You don't have to get it right. Contrary to what well-meaning people would say around you, well, you should have known better. Couldn't you see that? And it's like, well, no, I couldn't. But now I know, because I'm experiencing it. And so that can also stop us from deciding to do things in life, because we think we should know the outcome. But that's also a pretty boring existence. If you knew exactly what was going to happen before you lived it, what would be the point? There's no room for excitement, or something taking you by surprise, or actually coming to you in a much better way than you could ever have imagined. So the space in between is allowing. We don't have to control everything. It's just allowing things to unfold in their own time, and being centered in your energy, so that you will know, centered in your own wisdom, so that when something comes to you, when an opportunity comes to you, you will know what to do with it. But if you're not centered, which means that if you're not present in the moment, you're in the future, you're in the past, it's really difficult to read what's going on now and to make a decision with that. Because the space in between, it's a bit of a Zen philosophy, to notice the gaps between thoughts and the the pause before reactions, and to see that reality exists beyond mental activity. But it all boils down to being present in the now. It's just another way to explain being present now, in this moment, and in this moment, and in this moment. And, I remember working, I was at Blue Angel Bookshop. It was a healing centre as well before it was a publishing company. And I remember when The Power of Now came out, and we had the Eckhart Tolle book, and we had, boxes and boxes of it because we sort of knew it was going to sell very well. And, of course, it did. And it was really the first book that I read that took the esoteric philosophy of the now, because there'd been much written about it, but a lot of it was very metaphysical, very esoteric. Yes, and he made it practical. But that book took it and brought it into the everyday. And I always knew that, but I didn't have the vocabulary, I can't speak. I didn't have the words to explain it. And so that book helped us to find the words to explain it, because the English language is not so great at explaining feelings. Actually, I don't know if any language is. Probably some of the romantic languages, being the Latin languages, are better at it than English. But finally, we had a different way that we could explain it, that wasn't cliched, that wasn't new agey, that wasn't, all full of light and fluff and woo-woo. It was getting down to the practical tin tacks of things. And it still holds up today. If anyone wants to try and understand the principle of the now. Because, of course, everything happens now. Time is the buffer between all our experiences. It's the space in between. Otherwise, we would be experiencing everything now. And I sort of explained it a few weeks ago, I think, when I was talking about the parallel lives. That, I sort of explain it like everything is all piled up on top of each other. and it's all happening now. But time spreads it out so that we get to have that experience in between, because it's the feeling, that space in between, that gives the physical moments and the physical manifestations such joy. Think about when you're hungry, you really enjoy that next meal that you have. So we then have a space in between again, and you get hungry again, and then you really enjoy that meal. But imagine if all the food that you were going to eat this life was all of a sudden piled up in front of you. It would be quite unappetizing, and you wouldn't be able to get through it, and it would sort of defeat the purpose. So, again, the space in between is very much about the now. So, yes, I was talking about Zen. So, yes, it is Zen Buddhism. It can be quite mental, quite heady. But the reason that it's like that is because it's trying to break down the mental constructs. And part of Zen Buddhism is a practice that a teacher will give to a student, to a monk, that is called a koan, a Koan. And these koans are sentences or like poems that are meant to be twist your mind inside out and backwards. And so one koan that has popped out at me today or yesterday actually, to say today, is without thinking of good or evil, show me your original face before your parents were born. So this question pulls us into a space beyond identity, beyond words, beyond our conditioning. So, and it's in the space in between that we can meet our original self, the self that just simply is. So once again, just listen. Without thinking of good or evil, show me your original face before your parents were born. And you don't have to try and make sense of it. So it's a koan. And its job is to be a head twister, a mind twister. Not like a tongue twister, but for the mind. To turn it inside out and to break down the rational and to bring up the irrational, because sometimes we have to break through that in order to let go of the old beliefs and ideas that we may be hanging on to. So something else with the space in between, you don't have to, once you start really focusing on this, and you know, my parents would often say it as well. Mum would say to me, you know, you've got to read between the lines. And, you know, she was telling me this when I was 4, and I'm like, I can remember trying to read between the lines thinking, what's there? I can't see it. I can't see what's written there. Until, you know, later I began to understand. But, you know, my mother was never very good at explaining things. But as I got older, I realised that the reason my mother was saying that to me is because she wanted me to feel her energy, know what she wanted without her asking for it. That was the actual reason that she was saying you need to read between the lines, because she didn't think she was worthy of asking for anything. And that's quite a complicated... My mother was quite complicated, but then so are a lot of us. And we often assume things. And there's nothing wrong with reading between the lines. We all need to learn to do that. That's actually critical thinking as well. You need to stop taking things at face value. You know, listen to something, read something, and then let it sit with you and decide what feels right for you. You know, and if you can look up critical thinking, but and Stoicism. But a really good way to understand critical thinking is Byron Katie's work. She has 4 questions that you ask yourself. The first one being, is this true? So if something comes up in your life, you say, is it true? Or is it a story, an assumption that is coming from your beliefs, your mind? The second question is it really true? Just to get a bit clearer with it. The third question is, you turn it around. So where is this in me? So the story, so whatever is coming up, it's like, where is this in me? And the fourth one is, who would I be without this story? I don't know why I'm going to share this again, but I did a workshop, a Byron Katie workshop, but this is a long time ago. My mother had cancer. She was terminal at the time. And it was a fairly difficult time I was going through. And I'm going to share way too much here, but anyway, it's nothing bad. But doing the workshop, sometimes I would often make myself a guinea pig because it made me do the work. And so I did that. And so I was up with the facilitator doing the work. And it was to do with my mother. And we got to a point and my body froze. My body didn't want to go any further. And that was telling me that my nervous system had come to its, I needed to do a little bit more work within me, but they were pushing me to go further, to go deeper. And my body was just reacting. There was trauma coming up and there was pain coming up. And I stopped breathing. I just held my breath and stopped breathing because I didn't know how else to not, because I didn't have enough in me at that time to say, stop, I can't do any more. My body just stopped. It's like my body just froze and I stopped breathing. And I remember my Reiki master was there at the time and they've dragged me out and they're trying to get me to breathe. They're giving me Reiki and I stopped breathing for quite a long time because I knew that if I took a breath, I would have to feel the pain and the trauma and I didn't want to. And it wasn't so much mentally, it was my body was in trauma. And, and obviously I did because I'm still here. But it was a fascinating experience because I didn't expect to react in that way. But when you hold trauma in your body, the somatic experiences that you have sometimes just come out of nowhere. And you're not quite sure why you do the things that you do. But again, your body is just telling you this is what needs to heal. So that was my Byron Katie experience. I have read all her books and I love her work. And it's very simple work, but it's also very powerful as well. So I hope that helps someone. And please tell me if it does. Please tell me if I'm waffling on too much and you want me to shut up and just get on with the meditation. Just... I have no idea why all this stuff's coming up tonight. Well, and it's the space in between as well. Because once you start diving into the space in between, it's like it expands. And everything in there starts to come up. And sometimes some of this stuff does take you by experience. And that is just the way that it is. So before we go into the meditation, I'm just going to, I've got a card from my secret language of, not secret language, but the Tarot of Light. This is the card. It's called, it's the Seven of Trees, which is the Seven of Pentacles, and I've called it Contemplation. And you can see that light coming through the branches is what gives the branches its form. And so I'm going to read this out just before we go into the meditation. And if you want to get comfortable, and I'll read this out and then we'll start the meditation. The Seven of Trees. I'll get back to that. The Seven of Trees inspires you to take time out for yourself. You've been working so hard, it is now time to catch your breath and reflect. A break from doing gives you a chance to see and process your surroundings before difficulties arise. Are you still on course? Is this still the path that you want to take? Are you getting the results that you want? There is so much going on behind the scenes. The universe is moving heaven and earth to give you what you desire. You can relax in the knowledge and get on with your day of rest. So that's the meaning. And so it's time for you to just, they're not your tribe, Nicola, so that's just, we don't worry about them. So this is the description. The 7 branches of this tree provide a serene, beautiful setting in which to rest from your journey. As the sunlight shines through the branches, the tree is no longer defined. The tree is no longer defined by its physical presence. It realizes its form and definition comes from the space in between. It dances in the wind as a thank you to the sun. The earth is ever turning, and the sun will move on to illuminate other trees, other oceans, other truths. Make the most of the sunlight by observing all that it touches and the spaces in between. So, let's go into our meditation. So take a deep breath in and just find a comfortable place to sit or lie down. For the only way to truly experience the space in between is to go deep within yourself. It is not something you can intellectualize. Take a deep breath in and out. And just take another deep breath in and just feel yourself ungripping as you breathe out. And if you are not sure what ungripping means, take another deep breath in and just tense everything up. Clench your jaw, clench your fists, tighten every muscle, make yourself as tight as you possibly can, and hold it. And then breathe out and let it all go. That is ungripping. You are letting go of whatever you are hanging on to or gripping inside of you. For that creates stress and imbalance. And it holds you away from the space in between. It holds you away from your heart and your joy. So let's take another deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel your shoulders dropping down and your jaw relaxing. And you just feel yourself sinking into whatever you are sitting or lying upon. You are deliberately slowing down your breath, which will change your consciousness. It changes the way that you feel. You begin to activate your relaxation response. And you will automatically start to feel more in control, more empowered, more at ease and calm. So imagine now that the room is filling with beautiful crystal white light, bright white light. It illuminates everything in the space around you, and it illuminates you. And this beautiful crystal white light is always there in the space. But as you start to relax, you begin to lift into the authenticity of you. Rising your vibration. And know that your vibration is always high. And there is nothing wrong with low vibration. It is just that high vibration is where your soul authenticity lives. And it is where you resonate all the time. But it is the beliefs and the ideas that we have taken on that are heavy, that may be a different vibration, may be a lower vibration. And we wrap them around our truth. And they begin to pull our vibration down. And again, that doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that you cannot hear the authenticity of you. And then in certain moments, when you are laughing, experiencing joy, all of a sudden you let go of all of those things and you automatically just move straight into the truth of you, and you will feel much better. When you are in love, you go to this place. Sometimes we just fall into it and we don't know how we got there. But you can do it deliberately. But it means letting go of outdated beliefs and ideas that some of them we think will keep us safe. But you'll know by the way it feels. And so raising your vibration is not about something you have to do. It's not about something you're striving to be, because you are already it. What you're doing is letting go of the resistance that's holding you down, that's holding you away from the truth of you. And the more you lighten yourself, the more you let go, the more you will just automatically feel the truth of you. And that's what that beautiful crystal white light is showing to you. It is the authentic soul of you. Let it illuminate you. Feel it. Feel how good it feels. Breathe it in. Imagine it, you can touch it, that it's palpable. Get used to the feeling of it so that you can emulate that in every moment of your day and evening. Breathe in that light and breathe out light. Breathe in that light and become light. And breathe out light. And now, become the observer of what's going on inside of you, inside of your mind. Allow any words or thoughts to just gently float through your mind. They'll always be there. But you don't have to grab onto one and create a story from it. Let it take you somewhere else. Or grab a word that then joins another word and another word that takes you off in another direction. Observe the words, the thoughts, whatever is in your mind, just simply observe them floating by. take your focus now to the space in between words. Instead of focusing on the words, look at the space in between. And as you do, you will begin to see a tiny point of light gently pulsing. And as you focus on this tiny point of light, it grows larger and larger, bigger and bigger. And it starts to push the words aside. And it starts to envelop the words. And this beautiful pulsing light, and there may be many pulsing lights. This is the energy, the essence of your soul. And it brings with it the qualities of your soul: love, wisdom, bliss. With each pulse, you can feel waves of love, of wisdom, and of bliss. The qualities of your soul. And you feel your physical heart pulsing in union with the pulsing of the light in between. And the light in between, these pulsing lights, the essence of your soul, is now growing so large that it is surrounding you. And you feel yourself being drawn deeper and deeper. It's like a beautiful star, twinkling, pulsing. And you feel yourself just gently moving into the middle of this star, of this light, into the essence of you. And in this place, there is no one you need to be. There is just simply being you. You will always recognize you, no matter what form you take. Be you in this moment. Be you. Feel you. Know you. There is nothing to do, nothing to fix. There is just simply being you. And you feel yourself just moving deeper and deeper into the essence of you. You feel so safe, so blissful. There is nothing to hang on to. There is nothing to surrender. There is just simply being. And it feels completely freeing. Liberate yourself from the suffering. You are falling into the grace of you. And as you move deeper and deeper into this beautiful space of infinite expanse, you feel yourself now being embraced by the creative heart at the center of our universe, by the source, the I am, God, the universe. Feel yourself being embraced in the arms of the source. As it wants you to know that it is so happy and glad that you are living the life that you are. Your life is so important. Your experiences are important. Whether you experience what is deemed as good or bad, either way the whole universe expands, becomes more, because of your willingness to experience life. And the source wants you to know that it expands through your expansiveness. It grows through your experiences. For you are the source, and the source is you. And you are so loved, and you are love. And so we're just going to float in this place, being in the arms of the source. And we'll just be here for a minute or so, and I'll call you when it's time to move on. Feel yourself just gently sinking deeper and deeper into the heart of the source. Realizing that you are so much more than you think you are, and that this life is not quite what we think it is. You sink deeper and deeper into the heart of the source. And you now realize that you are sinking into the heart of you. Through the source, you are now floating in your own heart space, in this physical body, in this life. And you begin to realize that the heart of the source is in the heart of you. The heart of Mother Earth is in the heart of you. Through your heart, the whole universe exists. and you can go anywhere you want to. And in this beautiful state of just being you, you begin to allow any hard edges within your heart to just gently soften. You feel any old hurts that you may have held within your heart. You just gently release them. And any walls around your heart, begin to just gently let them fall away. And know that that beautiful crystal white light will surround your heart, will surround you. And you begin to feel yourself as like a liquid light. And you breathe in and you feel yourself beginning to expand, filling up, moving throughout your physical body. Moving over and in all of your cells. And as you move through each cell within your body, all your trillions and trillions of cells, each cell transforms into love. And know that every cell now born will be born of love. As you let go of the outdated and you just be you. And with each breath you feel yourself filling up your physical body more and more, until that liquid light that is your consciousness moves all the way to the top of your head and to the tips of your toes and your fingers. And you are now one with your physical, fully present right here, right now, in the magnificence of you. Take a deep breath in and be fully present right here, right now. And just gently breathe out. Allow yourself to be fully present. Right here, right now. Take another deep breath in. Come back, come back. And as you breathe out, just gently open your eyes and smile. So welcome back, everyone. So just go easy on yourself. And if you can just do one thing for yourself in the following day, in the next day, just do something kind to yourself. Kind to a tree, an animal, or another human. You know, we don't have to go out there and do huge things. because it's too easy to be corrupted by the systems that are already set in place. So just start doing small things for you and your community, and you begin to be like a stone being thrown into the water that ripples out. And anyone that is in the vibrational vicinity will pick up on that, and you will inspire them to know themselves. And just keep doing that. And before we know it, those ripples will go out around the world. So thank you. This has been a huge session. We keep having these huge sessions, but that's okay. It's obviously for my healing as well. So I'm going to choose a card just to finish off from my Flower of Life deck, I think. These are my Flower of Life cards. Light Worker. I think it's Light Worker. So a little reminder that you're all light workers, which is what I just said before. You are a light worker. You are here to inspire and enlighten yourself and others to move from fear into love. This will be present always in all that you do. You don't have to figure out how you are going to do it, for you have always been doing it. As you allow light to illuminate your inner world, embrace and love all parts of you. You feel yourself shift from fear into love. Today, let us give great thanks to Mother Earth for the incredible privilege of being here. Through co-creation, we anchor our streams of consciousness into her for the joy of creating, expanding, and light working. This brings love and growth for all, you and I. Mother Earth, this solar system, galaxies, the universe, and beyond. You are spinning light into the web of life. So there we go. I think that's a wonderful card to finish on. So thank you all so much. Enjoy and just be you. Always, always be you.